All right, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? I just wanted to say a couple of things about this whole thing involving binary. All these people, pretty much in the past of that. I don't really want to say that lady's name, but what I'm hearing, y'all just like y'all weird, like for real, for real. Y'all just weird. Your rationale is weird. Like y'all disrespect each other, kids, everybody in life, but when it comes to death, y'all like, oh my god, I'm like, y'all just weird. It's just like if anytime y'all should be respecting people is on Earth, while they on Earth. Now everybody's like, oh no, you can't talk about you can't. But the thing is with binary, that man's allegedly, well, her, whatever, her lover, whatever, I want to say, her boyfriend came and sought them out. It's different if binary had reached out to that man directly, and then that's where everything starts to go. But that man reached out to binary, from what I'm hearing. Okay. Then on top of that, I understand the angle in which binary is going. I really do. Y'all sitting up there saying, "Oh, he's selfish. It's all about him." Look, if somebody you find out somebody is enraged, upset, get a different narrative or a certain narrative is being formed, the thing you could do is have the conversation. Now, y'all might say, well, why he ain't gonna have the conversation in the background? Because he don't want maybe things to be misconstrued, or he might be doing it for presentation purposes, meaning he's doing it to make sure that everything is documented in a public setting so that nothing can be led falsely into misinterpretation or something like that. What's up, Kimberly Black? Thank you for being here. Okay. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a marvelous weekend. Um, so I understand Binary's angle regarding that. And I don't think he's trying to be an opportunistic person in that. I think he's just trying to gather information, but make sure that whatever transpires in a public setting. And also, he's just trying to do what anybody would do. Nobody put themselves in that man's position. What would you do if you found out that somebody was angry with you and maybe had a certain narrative about you? You know, I've seen a many time in life things by a simple conversation or misunderstanding is corrected just by a simple conversation. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, "Oh, you should do it. Leave it alone." And ZX, how I know your opportunistic ass will be the main one sitting up here trying to have a conversation because I already know what your anger would be. Your anger would be, "Well, brother, let me try to console you, my brother. Let me tell you, let's see, my brother. Let me sit here and try to help you understand and how to get past the three stages of grief, my brother." And you would seek that angle to have a conversation publicly with that man. Okay? What's up, Sharona B? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. So I'm not all for it, but I totally understand binary's angle. And everybody's like, oh, it's gonna end bad either way. Well, binary can't control what that man's gonna say. So if that man something says something disparaging about, his lover that passed, because I don't think they were married, so I can't say why. Um, and that's another thing. Malik hopped up on Nessa's panel and be like, if it was his wife, he did it. And I'm like, Malik, I don't think it's his wife from what I heard. I heard it was his lover. So going back to the whole ZX situation, he would be opportunistic and taking advantage of that. I definitely believe that because he thinks he can sit up there and heal people or help people in their most trying times, and his behavior on here has been some of the most disgusting. And I'm just really flabbergasted. Now let's get into Olivia. Olivia, you are detestable. You are terrible. You are old and bitter. And I don't usually call people old, but you're old and bitter. The things that you said yesterday on Deanna Irvin Live, talking about why her man got to come on here. You obviously are not in a relationship. People tell on themselves by the things they say. Obviously, you're not in a relationship, Olivia. because you know it don't matter where a person gotta go, they will go to get more information if they want to about you, especially if they did not know about it in your present day. So you just told about yourself, and you keep saying, "Oh, I would. My family ain't gonna never come." What about your man? What about your husband? What about your boyfriend? You always referencing your family, but you never reference the one you should be referencing, which is your man. I don't know. You just told yourself, and you just old, like you just old and antiquated. You don't understand the ways in which technology and social media is especially in the younger generation, is a fundamental uh, staple in their lives. And I was saying that man is probably even more fascinated than the fact that there's a whole world out here that he didn't even know about that she had I want to say a major presence on, but obviously a lot of people knew about it, right? So you dealing with grief, you may and then on top of that, they're saying he must have come across some stuff on his phone because he wants to talk to Lemon, Binary, and Resto or something like that. Then going back to the whole binary situation, it's wise for binary to do what he's I feel to do what he's doing. Now I totally understand about rest in peace, child, I'm all over the place. But then again, Olivia, how you gonna sit up there and tell people to respect the dead? And I don't understand that whole saying let the dead bury the dead. What? That don't make no sense to me. But you also sit up there calling that lady a bitch while telling us to respect her, like her passing. I'm like, you are so hypocritical, so hypocritical, and kind of callous. But going back to binary, binary, I totally understand, especially if this man allegedly is having conversations in the background with Lemon and Resto. He don't know how his what narrative is being formed about him in the background. So I totally understand why binary is doing what he's doing. I totally do. I totally understand that. I totally understand, especially if he said he ain't had no behind the scenes conversations with the one that passed away. Why would he start having one with her man now? That just don't make no sense to me. Um, what else I wanted to say about that situation? Okay, so now they're trying to say so Lemon be held accountable about this situation. I told Lemon before, and Lemon is only compounding his matters to be worse. And this is not a hater's perspective; it's an obvious perspective. He's only compounding his mastery worse because he's sitting up there talking with these women behind the scenes, unbeknowingly it seems, to to their partner or their husband. That's going to cause more issues. I don't know how many people he's talking to, but that's going to cause a lot of issues in the past. I mean, in the future. What's up, Ray Black? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hope all is well with you. Um, in the future, especially when these men, by whatever means, find out about the conversations they're having, right? So let's take and say, let's say the well, this man found out because he got access to his girlfriend's or lover's phone, and he's now enraged. It seems, but other instances, as I was telling him with therapy, I said, let me stop because you don't know if he is paying for her phone bill. If obviously if you pay for some phone bill, person's phone bill, you have access to their phone records, right? You get access to the text messages and stuff like that. So I was telling him to stop. Like this is probably a warning before destruction. And I do believe in that shit. You'll get little tinges of warnings and premonitions before the main thing happens. And I feel that's a limit situation. Stop playing with those women in the background. I understand that that may be your main source of communication with human beings on this earth, but you need to stop or change the tone of the conversation. Because once it becomes sexual, like Malik said, they coming for you. He coming for you. What's up, Tay Bay Forever? He coming for you because he's probably angered, and to help him deal with the grief that he's dealing with currently, he's going to see to turn that into revenge. Now, going to the facet of whether or not Limit is responsible for her drinking, I would say to some degree. Now, I say some degrees because I don't know what was communicated in the background. If he knew that she had a medical condition or something dealing with the liver, apparently from what we're hearing, and they doing drinking games in the back with Discord, and he's encouraging her and pressuring her to drink, then I find him responsible for that. Lemon does have a tendency, and we do see it even with Krista. Oh, you're not gonna take a drink? I don't want you to drink. Drink. So if that's the same kind of conversation that was had in the background, then yeah, Lemon holds some responsibility. But he had to be aware of her medical condition, and I'm not sure if he was. I'm hearing he did know to some degree about it, but if he did that, because Lemon can be very sneaky in a way, and this is not me bashing him, but he knows that if you have a weakness or something that you're trying to control, he has a way of rubbing that in your face to make you break it. So if you have an issue with hot dogs and he over there cooking a chili cheese dog, he says, "Ooh, I'm gonna eat this hot dog for you." So as a way of taunting you, so hopefully that either by him eating the hot dog, you get into some kind of torment because you trying not to eat a hot dog, or you go eat a hot dog and break your commitment not to eat them. So we've seen it multiple times. So with that lady, it may have been a situation where she was. Well, they said she hadn't had a drink in 5 years, maybe because of her liver. But then, if he was sitting up there peer pressuring them, and I'm so sick of this. They adults. They adults. They adults. They adults. What? Yes, they are adults, yes. But when you are in a group setting like that and people are pressuring you, that has to take into account. Every adult is not strong. Every adult's not strong. And when you put in an environment surrounded by your weakness, then you gonna cave in. And that may be the situation there. Like some of y'all just like don't think y'all never been through nothing in life. Like y'all just perfect. But y'all over there struggling with your own addictions, knowing that somebody had walked in with a 40 ounce and you've been years of sobriety, you'll sit up there and take that 40 ounce. Y'all just sometimes y'all just ooh Lord y'all. Anyway, forever ever, you are right, SK. Him and Sour Patch have exchanged photos, and his old man plus limit is black. He could snap. Oh, she sorry, you are right, SK. Him and Sour Patch have exchanged photos, and she has an old man plus limit is black. He could snap. So you said her old man don't like black people? Ah, that's interesting. What's up, Miss LA? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. So yeah, I mean, you forever ever. That is, you just don't know. Like, and women are so quick to like no fist. No, not women. Excuse me. No, yeah, some women are so quick. Excuse me. Y'all know this. Women are so quick to maybe distort the truth to say what they have in reality, right? You know what I mean? So what I mean by that is, oh, let's say for Sour Patch lies on Lemon and said, oh, he kept sending me pics and I told him to stop because she don't want to mess up what she got at her home or in real life, right? So, and I told him to stop. The only thing that Malik had said that was right, but it was wrong, is that anger or that how can I say enthusiasm for what he was saying should have been placed on limit, not binary. That's how I feel. Because in all honesty, if anybody's got any chance of somebody rolling up on them, it's limit because of what he's doing in the background with these women. And I'm serious about that. I always should tell you, the wife is a man's pride and joy. If he is told or suggested to defend her honor, he will. Because if he don't, all hell's gonna break loose. And I don't understand. That's not nothing to play with. And the crazy part about it is that that shit could go on. Like, let's say Sour Patch and Lemon move on 2, 3 years from now, right? If that man finds that stuff 2, 3 years now, he's gonna have a renewed interest. You get what I'm saying? So even though it's dead for 2, 3 years, he's gonna have a renewed interest in that because it's new to him. And it's all signs of infidelity. Men are very weird in that way, where they feel like, oh my God, I can't believe I've been taken advantage of. You're mine and mine only. I know you did not say you love this man. Where was I when somebody said they love? I love. Oh, I think it was Sunpass. Somebody, I love you, Lemon, bitch. And yes, I'm saying, bitch. Don't let that's them words are not to be played with in that capacity. I love you. No, don't let nobody ever tell you I love you like that. Let that man hear I love you or see I love you in text form. He gonna flip out because he is the only one that's supposed to be loved by her. Like men are weird in that when it comes to that whole you are mine wife thing. A lot of people get killed and shot. Trust and believe, and I'm not over glorifying the situation. What's up, Dr. Stobie? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Forever Ever says Sal is from the west side of San Antonio. I believe she racist. I mean, I believe she has the ability to be racist. Okay, and she knows what to say, but she knows where she at. Right? She likes the entertainment. She likes the attention, and she knows how to behave if she wants to be tolerated. Now I've heard her talk. She has it in her, and she knows what to say if she wants to be racist, but she not. They were trying to compare Shakim and how Ness was, and how Shakim says bitty bitty bum bum and calling her Selena Gomez, and how Sour Patch says he's nappy and all that. Listen, listen. She know how far to go. Okay, she know how far to go. Sharona B says, I remember you always telling him to stop talking to married women. Yeah, I that's nothing. People wind up dead. People wind up dead. I mean, you gotta understand, like, when people have love is some kind of drug, okay, that can make people do unpredictable things. Like you would think the most peaceful, docile person in the world would never do something, but it's somebody taking or the threat of his wife being taken from him or in love with somebody else because when a man is cheated on, that's an immediate sign that he's inadequate and that he's inferior. I'm gonna tell you, since we got a mostly majority women audience, 98% of y'all are women over here. In case y'all don't know why men get jealous and all this other, men get jealous because immediately that y'all show your attention or affection or say I love you to another man, that immediately means that we are inadequate and we are inferior and that you have found something better or that we have lost something that caused you to fall out of love with us or to look another way. That's why you see men go ballistic when they found out they be cheated on. They say they do crazy shit and all that. And most times it's either very violent in nature. So that's why I tell them and don't play in that capacity. And don't even let that lady say, I love you like that. Because when Sour Patch said, I love you to Lemon, I don't think he said it back. So I'm just saying, like, y'all playing some dangerous games out here. Mm-mm. I'm just saying, y'all could disguise it as entertainment, whatever. But this is just to me, it's real world shit. Like y'all don't come on. Y'all just don't present yourselves as an entertainment situation. Y'all present yourselves as a bunch of damn liars who manipulate shit, but talk about real world details of y'all content because y'all not. Let me not go into that, but yeah, let me. Phones carry, and then on top of that, phones carry history with them, right? So he gonna view everything, and child, who knows? He's mm, he see your male member up in there, and he see her male member, her part up in there. That's gonna really get him enraged. Child, y'all play these games if you want to. All right, let me see what else y'all saying. You said it's a concern. Agreed. Yeah, it's definitely a concern. Sure, let me see. I remember when you tell them to stop. Yeah, I did that. Ray Black's a lot. I'm missing. Goodness. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot missing. I mean, well, you gotta just. It's a lot going on. Ray Black with that whole situation. Um, Even from the point in which it started with Sour Child, they talking about Sour Patch and that other lady, the docs that lady and all that, and that's how they found out she was dead, and then passed on, and then Sour Patch admitted to calling the hospital and maybe fabricating who she is to validate that she had passed on, and then of course she's gonna say she didn't. But anyway, Dr. Sophie says nothing to be played with. It's not. Mm-mm. What's up, Baron? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. SK, I'm listening. Tell it. Okay, I'll tell it in a minute. Hold on. Love is nothing to play with, but there's different types of love. Well, okay, so Ray Black, since you say you lost, pretty much an individual who was over here or over at Lemons named Sharika passed away. They found out because I guess South Hatch validated that also her lover, because it's not her husband. That's why I need y'all to understand that distinction. They said her lover uh got a hold of her phone and saw what was going on and wants to speak to Lemon, Resto, and Binary. Binary said he ain't never had no behind the scenes conversation with this man, and the reason Binary found out this man want to talk to him is because he left a comment under one of his videos or his community posts. But Binary said, if you want to talk to me, you gotta do it public. So that's pretty much where it is. Um, and everybody's in the uproar because they said we people are sick by using this lady's past and its content and all that stuff. I view it differently in a way because she was an active member of the social media community. As long as you don't speak disparaging about her, then why can't we talk about her? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like Michael Jackson. Oh, now that Michael Jackson's passed on, we can't talk about him. And not saying that, she Michael Jackson, but I'm just trying to draw a correlation to the situation. And now Ray Black, apparently this man is, from what I'm hearing, I don't know, upset about some of the things that he found on the phone. Now we got to also take into account: is this a trolling session? Now I have to bring this out here because now people have integrated plays into their commentary. So for us to now speak about plays, it's not disrespectful, but it's just due diligence. And let me talk about how I feel potentially this could be a play. One, did that lady give her access to her phone or whatever her pages to somebody on here, right? So if she gave her account info to somebody on here, they could potentially be playing under that. Also, somebody said, "Oh well, he responded on his own page." Somebody could create a page and pretend to be him. I'm just mentioning that because we have to take that account into effect because I didn't like the fact knowing that Lemon and Resto were having conversations behind the scenes with him, but Binary wasn't. And I'm like, this don't sound right to me. It just don't because those two don't like, well, they don't like Binary or whatever. I don't know. Maybe Resto. I don't know their relationship with Resto, but I know Limit and Binary are not on the best terms. So I could easily see this going in the way of a play just because they play games. That's all I'm saying. It may not be the fact. It may not be true, but you do have to include that element because why everything is digital, everything is electronic, right? So until we hear that man's voice and all that other stuff, I mean, we don't know. So that's what I want to say. Let me see what y'all say in the chat. Um, Dr. Sophie says, I make sure if I have a female patient Does your husband know you are speaking with me? Ooh, Lord, that's called due diligence. It's in my initial questionnaire, which is good. Dr. Sophie says he is upset. I bet he is. Kimberly Black saying, good morning to Ray Black and Dr. Sophie. Dr. Sophie said that's also a reason why I get the fuck from back there. Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's a good segue into what I want to talk about. So they run around here talking about Discord is for children. No, it's not. It started out that way. It started out as a gaming application. Now there are some people. Let me just say this real quick. Thank you for the people who brought that situation to my attention. I'm not addressing no person that sounds like a hobo, who sounds inarticulate, who sounds like a gutter snipe trash, who sounds like they are from the depths of the land of stupidity. I'm not going to address you. You are dumb. You're stupid. Your rationale. You one of the reasons Olivia shouldn't be on here because she's too old, and your ass should not be on here because you're dumb and using technology in a way that it shouldn't be used, and you don't even talk that way in real life. So why your ass sound like Bobo the clown when you talk, thinking that somebody gonna really give you some credence? But stop putting certain jackets on certain people, because when you start putting certain jackets on certain people, you actually revealing yourself. Okay. Now getting back to what I want to say, because I'm not gonna give that person no motherfucking direct airtime. Now, Discord, it was meant as a gaming accessory or messaging application. Now, y'all running around here saying, "Ooh, it's for kids. Ooh, it's for kids." Do you not know these motherfucking financial advisors use Discord to list different things about stocks, crypto, and all that stuff? They have you go through Patreon because Patreon is the paywall that they use, and then they divert you to Discord. And these are prominent people. We all say that. Y'all just like, what? It's kids on. Then y'all, if it's kids on it, then y'all, none of y'all should be on YouTube. Then, for real, for real. It's a whole kid section over here. They had to come up with COPA or COPA or whatever to control the situation with the kids on this application. So if they doing all that, then none of y'all should be on here either, right? Like the hypocrisy and y'all, some of the things and the arguments that y'all make in the narratives that y'all try to spin. It's unreal to me. Really unreal. All right. Let me see. Let me see. I bet it was a mess back there. I can only imagine. And then on top of that, in case y'all didn't know, the feds are all in Discord because of that whole situation that happened in Utah. That's where they were talking at. That's where they were talking at, and that's where it first came to light that that guy was going to do what he was going to do to that man in Utah, right? And that was kind of scary because they saying that if those people knew what that man was going to do and they didn't go to law enforcement, they could all be found as complicit. I was like, Discord jamming people up that bad. I was like, damn. So yeah, the feds are over on Discord right now because of that situation. In case y'all didn't know that, that's where they were all talking at. What they whatever views they had going on. So, all right. Forever ever since ghetto internet was a troll, PG of Sigma Fubar in YTC chat because she has him blocked, saying the husband reached out to him. That's it. Ghetto internet was on a troll. Oh, troll page. Oh, okay. But what? Ghetto is blocked by YTC? What? Are you for real? Saying the husband reached out to him. So I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't play with that. Like the only way you would see Sir King entertain something like that was if he was mad at me. Then I would bring him on, right? But I would, I would have touched that with a 10-foot pole because I'm not involved in that. I'm not looking to be opportunistic in that capacity. Dr. Sophie says women are very conniving. I don't want you, madam. They see a black man with a career and money. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, I just, oof, yeah. Yeah, I just like, mm. I hear what you're saying, Dr. So I just like that situation. Well, Dr. So that situation, I'm not worried, trust and believe, because I gave Lemon tons of warnings. But I just feel one day, see, Lemon is not a little boy no more. So Lemon is not no internet little boy who dresses up for women on the internet and does what they ask him to do. He a grown ass man. So that mercy period that people would have on him is over. But he still seems to be operating in that capacity with his conversations with women in the background scenes, and that's going to catch him up one day. For real, for real. Like you just can't play those type of games and think you're going to, because as you discard one and discard the other, you're going to forget what you said to each of them, right? But those conversations are still there, just waiting for. And then let's talk about this. That person may use lemon to make their husband or lover jealous. Oh, you think you all that? You think you all that? Well, look who I'm talking to. Look, he 10 years younger than you, and you don't even compare to him, and you can't even get it up. Look at what he could do. Oh, look how he talked to me. He tell me he love me. You don't even tell me you love me no more. You see what I'm saying? So women can use him as a weapon, and that man's attention to her will get shifted now from lemon. I'm sorry, shifted from her now to lemon. And lemon don't even see the bazooka that's coming his way or being planned to come his way. Because while he's sitting up here thinking he a Mac Daddy and Casanova, that person that he don't even know now got their eyes set on him and researching him, plotting and planning on him. And I hate to say it, but that's what I was scared what would happen with Terry P. Because Terry P would be talking like that. Excuse me, Terry P, no disrespect, but I got to bring you up in real time. Terry P husband would be in the other room. And I'm like, oh my fuck, oh Lord. I was just like, oh my God, if he would just put his ear to the damn door, he could get, enraged. So y'all playing some dangerous games out here. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Well, Mary Black, you said that's some mess. That's some heavy mess. I've seen it happen. And fits of rage and jealousy, I've seen it happen. So, and like I said, as soon as a man sees that he's being cheated on, he feels immediately inadequate and inferior. So, what's up, Brixton, babe? I'm here for the mess. Thank you for all that you do to keep us informed on the breaking news on the YouTube streets. Brixton, I decided I'm not going to even talk to that guy, alligator buffoon, hobo the clown sounding person. They ain't even worth my time. They can't even talk right. Why? I'll be giving them airtime. No, not necessary. Not necessary. Forever ever says SK. They said ZS has reported Olivia said he has a crush on the new guy. Q. Why would Olivia talk to ZS behind the scenes? Everyone knows ZS. Well, because forever ever. Hold on one second. I gotta blow my nose unless y'all want to hear it. Hold on. Hold on one second. I can tell you why. Because hold on. Excuse me. Okay, because ZX is a master of deception. He will play any role that he needs to achieve whatever goal he wants to. or if you have a weakness, he would do that as well. Just like I told y'all, he was up here pretty much harassing binary and degrading binary for wanting to do this interview. And I hopped on next to the stage because not one person asked, well, if this interview or this conversation was presented to you, um, ZX, would you take it? And he said no, but if I know him, of course he would, because he would use the angle of that he's trying to do, be someone that can help him with his grief, excuse me, and that he's looking out for his common brother or his brother. So the same thing with your question regarding Lemon. He sits up there and pretends to be a father figure, right? And what Lemon is lacking in his life is male direction, older male direction, meaning he lacks. It seems like he's lacking guidance from an older man that can assist him. And sometimes ZX goes, and I heard his conversations with Lemon, and he sits up there and tries to be the wise sage and the mentor and the pillar that Lemon needs. So I could definitely see that Lemon maybe being in one of his drunken states reveals too much to ZX, especially if they were talking in the background. So, but that's why I would say that. And I mean, like he selected the lemon thing. Don't y'all see that this thing is lemon, and that's telling you what that is? Because when lemon tells you why he selected lemon, it don't make sense. But when you look at the history of that lemon thing, then it makes sense. So, Dr. Soapy says, keep your personal biz to yourself. All right, Brixton, we don't know her. She a whole alligator swamp by her own selection, not giving her no airtime. And like I said, she told on herself for saying all that she said. Kimberly Black says, no, sir, we don't want to hear. Oh, okay. Ray Black says, my goodness, what in the world? Sharona B says, bless you. Ray Black says, Kimberly, sure, you right. Okay. What else I want to talk about? Oh, Uppity. Uppity, that situation, Uppity is an enigma, right? Because while we think the way Uppity lives, she should be sounding like Happy Life, right? But she doesn't. She sounds whatever station, she sounds pretty articulate. Her thought process sometimes, most of the time, is well thought out in terms of her rationale. Now, some of her stuff is crazy, getting $1,000 a day stipend, and that her waist is small. Now, that's when it lets you know she kind of a little bit off. But when you saw she suffers from extreme mental illness, right? And when so yeah, it's a lot going on over there. It's a lot going on over there. That's all I can say. There's a lot going on over there. So I'm not got much to say about that. Her domain is not clean, but she has a lot going on over there. And I think like when she probably wakes up and gets off of YouTube and she looks at herself in the mirror, she don't like what she sees and she can't instantly change it because if she could, she would. You know what I mean. So, that's a situation that's compounded by a thousand that y'all not living in, and it's unfortunate. It's sad. Um, you know. So that's all I really got to say. I'm not gonna knock her down for that. Then they said she wasn't taking her medication, so that's only compounding her mental illness even more. So all you can do is hope and pray for her. Dr. Soapy says he doesn't care, can't help the unwilling. That's true. Yeah, but I just think that Dr. Soapy, I think he wants something bad to happen to him. I really do. I really do. And from my conversations and seeing how he acts, he wants like the lemon before would be slow to take heed to what we say, but this one completely disregards it. And I feel like he wants something to happen. I think honestly, he wants his channel to be taken, right? Because who sits up there and tells somebody, "Oh, then take my channel then," right? So, or who's slow to create a backup page? See, I think he tethers on that fine line of fate, challenging fate. And he tethers on that fine line until he's almost there, and he's about to, get into that other area of fate where things are about to be flipped upside down on his ass. Then he does what he needs to do. It's like a daredevil, right? Two cars rushing towards each other, and then at the very last second, one turns, but he don't turn 500 yards before getting that close. He turns right when there's an inch before a disaster can happen. So yeah. But sometimes, with that whole health thing, you can't play with that. That's something that's not where you can immediately change. What's up, Body Works? Oh, I don't know. I didn't know they argued yesterday. I didn't know they argued, but I knew there was maybe a fallout or something to some degree. So I don't know. It wasn't on a part of the live that I saw with Ness though. So I don't know. Mm. Everybody said limit and Ness added again. It's called self-sabotage. Yeah, you're right. It is called self-sabotage. Willful and purposely doing self-sabotaging. Um, I think I covered all my topics I wanted to cover. Let me see. According to ISA, I can't find the file out. Oh, LSA. It's somewhere. I don't know where it happened, to be honest. I didn't know they had an argument or something. But whatever. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. He probably mad because she could do descation and he can't. But he's never presented himself in a capacity where he could pull off something like that. Imagine him trying to book rooms. Imagine him trying to calculate how to book rooms. He can't do that. He can't do that. Now he gonna say, "Oh, you hope that I would fail, and look what I only count on myself." Okay, let me hit the live button. That ain't no accomplishment. Okay, what's up, Ashton? How you doing with your messy ass? How's everything going? Dr. Son is very sick state of affairs. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I really got to say. Um we shall see. We shall see. I mean, it's just like I said, the last component that I have y'all weird is just the fact that y'all disrespect the dead, the pets, the children, and the living while they here on this earth, and all of a sudden y'all want to have apprehension or be apprehensive when it comes to someone's death. Not saying that. I'm just saying show the same damn respect you have for people when they pass while they still living on this earth. Like it's weird to me. Now that y'all want to change up everything because people you disrespected in on this earth. Now you want to have. It's weird. Like y'all kind of like y'all kind of like that whole situation in Utah, right? That man said all that nasty, vile shit about black people, Latinos, just some very divisive stuff. And now we being pushed to respect him as he passed on. And I'm not for the way he passed. Don't get me wrong, but how you get treated in the afterlife is pretty much how you represent yourself in while you were here. And it's just weird to me. Like I'm just it's just like I don't know, child. I just say God, please don't let what I think they gonna allow happen. Because now they talking about they going after all the media licenses of any quote media company. Let me say all the media licenses of any channel or TV show or whatever media corporation that allowed that allows the mocking or disrespect or even disagreement in views. You're gonna go after the media like that's just so now we ain't gonna be able to say. I think this is a test run for Rump to his control the media. It ain't no damn test run. It is, and it's sad. That's what made America great, is that you can say anything you want to say about anybody at any level of life and not have to fear for your life or for your livelihood. That's why people over in various countries now envy America, but you taking away what made us envious. All right. And I just think that what's crazy about that whole situation about that dude in Utah was he is he wasn't he wasn't speculative that he was a person that promoted division and hate and inferiority. He did. That was his whole career. That was his whole claim to fame. And he wasn't a politician. He wasn't an elected official. He was a, you could say, a somewhat private citizen. They had their own hate machine going on. So I don't understand. Now you telling us, oh, you have to respect him when he wasn't even elected official. Like that's the effed up part about it. That's the effed up part about it. Crazy. That's what I got to say about that. It's just crazy. Bristol Bailey says, "Oh, he wants to sound. He does, and then he's using lawsuits to do it." Let's see. Ashton 1.0 says, "When I was broke, I was still up on Saturdays, and I will continue thankful, grateful, helpful to others." Thank you, Ashton, for your generosity. This is why they have spoke about other countries doing country styles of free speech and like anyone who dares to speak out. Yeah, they starting to see how far it can go, but they know they have to be gentle in the way they do it because it could be an immediate affront to the Constitution, right? An immediate affront to the Constitution. So they just seeing how far they can go and who they could test and who it's just really crazy right now. So Dr. Toby says he wants to be a martyr, very dangerous man. He wants to go back to 1925. He want to go back somewhere, but like I said, they underestimate the American people. Like we're not accustomed to that. So no matter what kind of laws you put in, you may have a whole uproar on your hands. That's something we in a new age now where you gotta be careful because we are accustomed to a certain way of life. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Anything else? Anything else anybody wants to say? That's pretty much my commentary. If you want to, feel free to send a gesture to outside circling crowd. It'll be tremendously appreciated. For the first time in a long time, I saw, and I'm talking about like the food prices because it was something that went up and that shit was high. I was like, what the hell? Because normally prices are for something. So the first time in a long time, I saw the ravioli cans, the cans of ravioli from Chef Boyardee for $1 each. I was like, what? What? Because normally them bad boys they want more than $1. But it was something else that I was like, these are the signs of the times that things are going to stay expensive. But normally everything started out at $4. That's or obviously. And then, Jay Wilson, Jay Wilson is so detached. He's like, oh, Uppity could have went to the dollar store and got some cleaning supplies for $1. Do you not know if that's why you hear me stop? I used to talk about the Dollar Tree all the time and all that stuff. The dollar store ain't the dollar store. The dollar store is most of the good premium things. They raised the prices to $2.50 to $5, right? Because they were saying they were losing too much money keeping it at a price point that was capped. So Jay Wilson, you are very ill informed. You need to go to a dollar store before you start talking about things. Yes, there are some things that are $1.25. Don't get me wrong, but those are usually the more inferior products. You know what I mean? There are, but a lot of that stuff they raised to like $5, $2, $2.25 because they had to stay profitable. Plus, they saw that a certain segment of people, like the target people, were going now from Target to the dollar stores. So they wouldn't mind paying the $5 at the dollar store because probably Target had it way more expensive. So Jay Wilson, he was just like, and then for someone, if you know that that girl is suffering from psychological issues, why are you going in on her like that? You see what I'm saying? You're supposed to be a proponent and a representation of divinity and ministry and having an inkling of religion or godliness in you, but you saying some of the most devilish things about that girl, that lady. I'm not, like I said, obviously she got something coming going on because who would be living in those kind of living conditions willingly? So that tells you right then and there. Shit, y'all, they showed. Listen, Oh my god, I literally fell out. That lady had almost a life size doll in the bathroom. And as I was watching that video, I was like, "Oh my god!" Because as she was panning, she didn't know. I think she didn't know she had a camera on. So as she was panning all through her house unknowingly, we saw the bathroom. And in the bathroom is a black doll, but it's a life size. I like, oh my God, it's a dead baby. I like, oh my God, it's a dead baby in the house. But it was not a damn baby. It was a damn doll. I was like, oh no. I was like, woo! I was just like, oh my God. That shit, that shit looked real for a moment. I was like, who? I like, what? I'm like, who that man on the floor? In the bathroom. Somebody done fell out. But no, it was on the bathroom floor. Yeah, on the bathroom floor. Y'all have to check that body out. I mean, not that body. See DVD. What's up, DVD? You got to read your comment. Don't check the body out. It looked like a dead body. It looked like just a lifeless body. Y'all go check that out. I didn't want to see all that because I'm like, I still try to have, you know how you have an opinion of somebody and then you see something you weren't supposed to see and that change your whole opinion of them. That's what you go. That's what I kind of saw. So I turned that shit off. I was like, I kind of have an inkling, because Uppity is the character, so I didn't want to. I knew if I saw everything that I saw, I'd be like, ugh, ooh, you hillbilly. That's what I would have said. But yeah, go, child, go check that video. It is a doll, a life size doll in the middle of that bathroom. She was about to have me call the FBI. Said it was a dead body in somebody's bathroom that they are just hoarding. Child, that's crazy. But yeah, it's a video out there floated. And that's the crazy thing. That motherfucker who she was on the panel, y'all, for what it looked like, she was on a panel. But they got that feature where you can zoom all the way in on the person. Like let's say 6 people on the panel, right? So y'all all little bubbles or boxes. And in the normal view, you just look like a bubble or a box. But it's YouTube is allowing us to zoom in 200%. So that's what they did. They zoomed in 200% into Uppity. Uppity didn't know her camera was on. And you probably wouldn't know it was on if you was on a regular live because they just look like boxes. But they zoomed in and they saw that. Ooh, baby, honey. Ah, what y'all need to do is give an offering to the damn custodian and help him or her clean up that damn place. I was like, mm, mm, mm. The kitchen video traumatized me. That's how you get roaches, though. That's how you get roaches and other rodents when people are not clean, and especially if she living in a building. Um, it's already gonna be some form of that because of the trash chute. The trash chute. You know, that's where they all congregate. And if she got a place that's constantly sending out the food signal, then yeah, they're gonna be over there. Sorry, y'all, I had to blow my nose. How you doing, DVD? You doing all right? DVD says, I've had 6 children in my house all at once. And all of them were under 5, and one of them was autistic, and my place never looked like that. Woo! But like I said, she's something going on mentally, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses because obviously she's not confined to the home. She can go outside and stuff like that. So she does have some whereabout and willingness to be active in that capacity. You know. So uh, she blinks 20 to 25 times and eyes are dead. Ooh, put black tape on that camera. Well, you know, she probably uses that same phone to do video lives. I mean, not lives, but to talk to people in real time, in real life, like her real relatives and stuff. So for her to put, you know, sometimes she come on live talking about she want to show this and that. So I don't know. Maybe she don't even have black tape. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, anything else, Sean? I don't know. That's about it. Like I said, we'll see about the whole situation with binary. I totally understand why he going to do it, why he doing it. Anybody need to understand. Put yourself in that position. Y'all want to talk to somebody who may be mad at you and see how severe or how serious that threat is. I just don't understand how people can't put themselves in that situation when y'all do that shit in y'all daily lives, especially if there's a misunderstanding between your neighbor or somebody else that you may have a potential feud with. Y'all do that to make sure that nothing, you know, explodes or go farther than it's supposed to. So, mm-mm. No, I'm so glad that you back, Way Black, and I'm so glad that everything is going well enough to where you can be back on this, you know, this application. You know, um, oh, you said she carries the gene. And I hate to say this, but a lot of people say, why y'all reaching out to real people? Why y'all reaching out to their family? Y'all so disrespectful. Well, when I was listening to Deanna live yesterday, she said that the only way we found out that Betty White had passed is that when she sent a cash out to Betty White's husband answered. So it's not like y'all make it seem like it's out of the norm for people to want to know what happened to people who were consistently on here daily and then they disappear. And then we wrong for trying to reach out to their family. Y'all, not y'all, but you gotta understand these people on here spend more time with us than they do with their own family. Let me say that one more time. They spend more time with us than they do with their own family. We probably know them more than their own family does because one, their own family don't even spend enough time to talk to them, right? And then they probably want to get away from their own family, so they spend time with us. So it's weird for me to hear that, like, oh, y'all invasive, y'all going into their real life when they're telling us all about their real life. Like what? Like it's just like some of y'all rashing out so it's so weird. It's just weird. Now if you call and somebody say leave me the hell alone, we don't want nothing to do with you. Stop. Oh, and you keep doing it and you keep prying, and that's wrong. Okay, but if you engage in just to know and to care, we are humans at the end of the day. So for us to sit up and see somebody like I always say, what happened to Robbie on the rail? Robbie was over here every damn day, incessantly, consistently, and then poof, he gone. You know, and that's just weird to me. I don't know. I just of other while we talking about that, that's just something that's just like, what happened to that person? What's up, Francis Thibodeau says, good morning, SK, and the chat. How is Ubby passing audits for people? I don't know. From what I was hearing, she's locking the people outside she's not letting them come in, from what I heard. So, she's not letting them come in, and then when she does let them come in, I guess that she cleaned up. I don't know. So, yeah. Dr. Substance, morally, there's no way I would make money off of the bed. I agree. But Dr. Sobi, put yourself in a situation if that man said that he had a bone to pick with you, what would you say then? You want to know though. Not saying that money had to be made, but I'm just saying, you know, I think the whole situation is weird, but it's probably weird because I don't understand all of it and its components. And it's even more weird is that stuff was going on in the background. That man found out. So I don't know. Let me see what else y'all say. Rick Silver says it's not unusual for us to be curious about the way its men is was opportunistic and transformed. I agree. I mean, I agree. I don't see. I don't know if they try to make money off the situation or not. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is Binary said he trying to interview the guy on in public, not interview, have a conversation. That's all I know. So that's all I know. But to each their own. I personally said I wouldn't touch it, but I'm not. I'm not involved in it. If I was involved in it, then things would be different. That's all I was saying. So that's all I was saying. All right, y'all. I tried to help start your day off well. So I hope you guys have a great day. I may be back later. You said money is the byproduct. I'm sure it is, but not so you'll have to live with the ramifications and repercussions of that, right? You know, I mean that's decisions. Your authenticity will be apparent. You know, that's the key thing. Your authenticity will be apparent. So that's what I have to say to that. And I'm referring to Lemon Sour Patch and Beacon not Banner. Oh, you walk away black. Thank you for coming back. Um, with that being said, I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all take care. Y'all have a great day. I may be back later. But until then, just enjoy life. Enjoy life the best you can. Tomorrow ain't promised. Our world is changing incessantly. So you have your health and your strength. You already won a lotto to life. If you don't, each day is still a blessing. So just be thankful and be grateful for that, you know? So things can be a whole lot different. All right, with that being said, I'm out of here. Thank you, y'all. Take care. Bye, y'all. See y'all later.